Hello, this is wmpyr. In my last video, I talked to you guys about um, someone that collects a bunch of awesome techniques versus someone who has a system. And I said to you guys that the system is the superior method, right? And while I saw a lot of people agree with that, I have this feeling that a lot of people also don't understand exactly what the system is or what I mean by system. I'm here to clarify and go into detail about what exactly is that. And a system, all it means is a method, right? That's what that means. It is a method to do something. It is a system to figure out how you're going to do something, accomplish something. And in that, there's a lot of things that you can accomplish. This could be learning, this could be teaching, this could be organizing techniques. It could be a bunch of different things. But what I'm really talking about is one thing. There's really only one thing that I'm interested in, even though the other things will be connected and it's important. But right now, the main focus is combat application. So I'm talking about being able to use a system for combat. That's all I'm talking about, okay? And yeah, now you could be training in one style, because obviously someone who collects a bunch of techniques, they go, that's a good technique, I'm gonna borrow that. Oh, that's awesome, I'm gonna borrow that. That's state of the art, I'm getting that for sure. You're collecting a bunch of cool stuff. That's cross-training, right? Some people don't. They just literally just grab the technique. But other people cross-train, which is more thorough because it'll help you understand it more. But literally, you're still collecting a bunch of cool techniques, right? And a lot of people I know, they like the cross-training mentality. In fact, a lot of you guys have said to me that you feel like that's the best way to go. I don't agree with that, even though I also happen to be a cross-trainer. I've been doing cross-training all my martial arts life. That's just the way that it worked out for me, and that appeals to me. I like different cultures, I like different ways of thinking, and I like all the different styles. So cross-training for me is the way to go. But I definitely don't think it is the best. No way. I do see the value in training in one style because, at the end of the day, it has to be quality. Quality is superior to quantity. Now, the tricky part is there is a way to cross-train and still maintain quality. And that's what I've been going for all these years. And that's what I'm trying to tell you guys is make sure that you do put quality first. You can cross-train all you want, but you got to focus on quality, okay? But yeah, anyway, now, whether you're cross-training or whether you're, focusing on one style, none of that guarantees that you understand a system, because a system is a separate thing, okay? And the system is, like I said, it's about combat application, making yourself combat ready. And let me put it to you simply, a system, combat application, right? Combat ready system, all that means is you need to have a game plan, a tested, tried and through game plan. If you don't have that, like if I say to you, okay, I'm going to put you up against this guy or these guys or against this guy who has a weapon or whatever, I'm going to put you in this situation right now. Do you know what to do? And if you don't, that means you don't have a game plan. And you go, well, I've been doing martial arts all my life, or that's not what I'm saying, I'm saying, are you ready to go now? Do you know what to do? And if your answer is no, then you don't understand. I don't care if you've been training 50 years. It just means that you've been training 50 years and you probably have a lot of knowledge and experience, but that doesn't mean that you have a set game plan. And there's other people that maybe they've never trained, but they know what they're going to do and they're good at it. So that's what we're looking for is do you have a game plan? And if you look at Bruce Lee, I think he's a really good example. We'll look at Bruce Lee from the Tao of Jeet Kune Do, from that book. And if you look at that book, and if you look at the stuff that's in there, in my opinion, and there's a lot of stuff in there, from philosophy to techniques to, a bunch of stuff in there. But when I see it, to me, from my point of view, which comes from the 4 ranges of combat, which I've said to you guys many, many times, and Bruce Lee has a different range of combat system and whatnot, but long range, medium range, close range, and ground range, those are the 4 ranges of combat that I personally utilize. And viewing things from that way, I can see that long range, Bruce Lee has a system. Combat ready. He's ready to go for combat. He knows exactly what to do. He's ready from the stance all the way to the actual fighting. He knows what's up. Now, when you go into medium range, close range, and ground range, in my opinion, the guy just has a bunch of collection of techniques at that point. I don't see a system. And this is just my point of view, right? And people will argue, I'm sure people will argue against that, but it's my opinion. And to make it further specific, because people will nitpick and all that, in the Tao of Jeet Kune Do, he criticizes martial artists for like traditional martial arts and Asian martial arts styles for being too safe, and then he criticizes boxers for being too bold. So he's talking about like right in between. And to me, that's long range, medium range. So boxers primarily medium range, martial arts primarily long range. So he's talking about right in between. So technically, he's right in between. That's what I believe he was going for. But for clarification, for just to make things simple, let me just say his long range has a set system. He has the 5 method of attacks, like attack by combination, that kind of stuff. He has 5 different methods. He has a very specific stance. So that to me is primarily his long range. It's like I said, it's technically more in between long range and medium range, but I would still, at least for me, I would still consider it long range. And then when he gets into medium range, I think if you listen to the Professor Dan Inosanto interviews of what Bruce Lee was like when he sparred him and stuff, I mean, he just said Bruce Lee at the end of the day, he's very technical, very fast. He's, just a very high caliber striking artist. But at the end of the day, he's a slugger. He was like, did he mention like a Rocky Marciano or something like that? I think at the end of the day, he said, and so I'm imagining like a Mike Tyson, right? A miniature Mike Tyson. He's just fast, super aggressive, super strong, and he has the technique and the skill and the strategy to help him get from long range to closer. And then when he gets closer, he's just going to slug it out with you, and he's probably going to come out on top. That is what I gather, and that's my guess, and I could be totally wrong, but once again, just my opinion. So when he gets closer into medium range, then that's not really technique, that's just his natural born gift. And a lot of people have criticized the Jeet Kune Do system, saying that only Bruce Lee could do that. And I can see that's the part where, yeah, only Bruce Lee can do that. The long range part, yes, he had incredible speed and whatever, but it's an actual system that you and I, anybody can follow, and we could use to our advantage. I'm not saying we're going to be as awesome as he was, but we could definitely use that. That's a system that he broke down, and he explains it in the book, and we could practice that. That's why I say that's a system. But medium range stuff, that's just him. There's really nothing in the book that tells you what to do, and if the other guy does this, then you do this. There's nothing like that in there. And then when you get into close range, he's showing he does his doodles where he's showing like the Thai boxing, Muay Thai boxing head clinch, throwing knees, some judo throws. I mean, those are just random techniques that he picked out. And then same with the ground stuff where he's showing an arm bar from judo and stuff like that. So definitely, definitely. I hope that makes sense. You can see what part, the way that I'm explaining, you don't have to agree with it, but at least if you understand what I'm saying, you can see what part is an actual system, what part is not a system, to help you understand what is a system and what isn't. Okay, so that's it for now. Thank you for viewing, and take care, folks.